thanks to Damien Phelan and the organising committee for such a well-run and efficiently run event. And I say this as a gentleman. Full effect disclosure, ladies and gentlemen. My preparation is not as good as that of the others here. I've had a sick family at home, and so this is basically what I've had. Where you've had three, rather stupendously learned presentations. I'm basically going to be riffing off at them, more or less off the cuff, for about 10 minutes and talk about arbitration as an echo chamber. It seems to be the tradition that I am the so-called party pooper at this event. Last year, for those of you who are unlucky enough to be here, I gave a talk about how I thought arbitration was outrageously expensive. And today, effectively, what I'm saying is, oughtn't we to be mindful of not being too self-referential and taking what we do too seriously? Now, to give you an example of what I mean, and I realise this is slightly fuzzy, you're all familiar with the term arbitration community. Everyone uses it all the time. Nobody, and I mean nobody, knows what it actually means. There is a fair amount of learning on sociology and arbitration, and Sadia has cited some of it, particularly on investment arbitration. But that all focuses on how things within the community, within the bubble, within the echo chamber work. It focuses on what Moshe Hirsch at Hebrew University, whose contribution was, I think, the latest and a very good one, worth reading on that topic, calls the norms, rituals, and identity of how arbitrators conduct their business. But it does not, as it were, go beyond the walls of the echo chamber and look at how this arbitration community is constituted and what the effect is of having effectively a sort of bubble, a club, as Maurizio called it flippantly, but probably not entirely incorrectly, within which we practice. An example of this is a couple of weeks ago I was invited to a dinner. And this is one of those events where the great and the good enough field congregate and meet. And I was witness to an exchange between a very senior household name type of arbitrator, one of the leading practices, and somebody who was there for the first time. And the senior arbitrator was paying Julie a compliment and said, "You really exploded into the public consciousness here." What he meant was that the junior guy had exploded into the consciousness of the 80 or so people in that particular room. And that is, I think, emblematic of the fact that we are very self-referential as a practice, as a community. We tend to do what we do by reference to those around us. And we sometimes, I start suspecting, lose sight of the fact that what arbitration fundamentally is a procedural vehicle for the resolution of substantive disputes. And ought it really be the case, as it often is, that the expertise in the procedure, the icing as it were on the disputes cake, is what drives, and it does drive, the appointment of arbitrators and the retention of counsel. And this came across very nicely in, I think, the contributions of all of my co-panelists, and particularly I can cite again the working case Primary survey that said that word of mouth is fundamentally the most important driver. And I include myself in that. I will not appoint anybody as an arbitrator whom I don't either know or know of very well, in terms of appointing arbitrators. And it is, I think, and this is no more than a vague suspicion, something that we ought to think about. It is possibly a problem as we are faced with a large amount of public backlash against arbitration. It's well known that investor-state arbitration is basically dead as between European states as a result of the ACMEA judgment, and the European Commission is driving the replacement of that with a pan-European institutionalized court. And part of the reason I suspect why that was possible is because in the public eye, insofar as the public beyond the public perceives arbitration at all, you'd be surprised how many people don't know what it is at all, given how big and important it is. It was possible because arbitration got a very bad press, not least because it is so self-referential and cliquey. And are we taking, therefore, ourselves too seriously And are we overestimating, the importance of the procedural contribution that we're making? Another example of this is the provisions for the appointment of arbitrators by nationality that Mauricio talked about. And in some rules, the ICC rules are probably the most well-known example. It is effectively institutionalized that you will end up with arbitrators who are not qualified in the law that governs the substance of the dispute. The chairman must be of a neutral nationality, and the sole arbitrator must be of a neutral nationality unless the parties agree otherwise, which by the stage they come round to appointing the tribunal they rarely do because they can never agree on anything. And so you're bound to, given how far nationality still traces qualification in most jurisdictions, England is very much a statistical outlier on this one, you are bound to end up with arbitrators who are not qualified. Now, I need to be careful here because I'm a beneficiary of this. I have had 3 arbitrator appointments so far, and 0 of them were governed by either procedurally or substantively the laws of any of the jurisdictions in which I'm qualified. I enjoy that very much. It gives me the opportunity, I obviously try to do a good job, it gives me the opportunity to fly out to a foreign capital and pretend to be important. But I can't help having the knowing suspicion that there is something wrong here with the system. If I'm appointed, and I am appointed to adjudicate a dispute about the legal provisions of which I haven't the faintest clue, and that is not just an accident, but that is how the system works. And another aspect of this potential overestimation, self-importance of us as a practice, is self-regulation. For those of you who are here last year, Catherine Roberts gave an extremely lucid, almost lyrical talk in praise of self-regulation as being something that is a force for the good and that makes arbitration what it is, and that sets it apart. But isn't there a danger to self-regulating us and operating in a space where effectively we get to make up things as we go along? A good example of this is the Prague rules on the efficient conduct of proceedings in international arbitration. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but it's an initiative of fundamentally civil law, lawyers with a civil law background, as a counterpart to the IBA rules on conflicts of interest. Now, those civil lawyers, and I'm partly a civil lawyer, who write about, on the IBA rules on evidence, completely different rules, on effectively driven by the fact that the IBA rules institute disclosure on more or less common law lines, fairly extensive obligations, which is completely unknown in civil law. I understand the gripe of the authors of the Prague rules here, and they are in themselves a perfectly fine instrument, but the problem is that we have now self-regulated the legal certainty that we had at the disclosure stage away, basically. Well, these rules on evidence are almost never written into arbitration clauses, and it was always assumed that the IBA rules would guide the tribunal, and if the Prague rules do take off, which remains to be seen, then that certainty would be gone. And so, what I am on about here is effectively we perceive ourselves only by reference to others who do what we do. And I'm starting to have a slight feeling that may not be how we are going to be able to run our practice in the next 20, 25, 30 years. One of the reasons why I say this is because arbitration as a practice is becoming more polycentric, both in terms of centres where arbitration gets conducted. Singapore is now a seat to rival London, it wasn't 30 years ago. And also, and particularly in terms of the know-how, the knowledge, the now of practitioners in jurisdictions outside of, effectively the sort of London, Paris, and Washington, New York, and Singapore, Hong Kong belts, where arbitration has tended in terms of expertise, in terms of practitioners to be concentrated on. These days, I have Slovenian co-counsel and Polish co-counsel who are perfectly capable of running almost all aspects of the London-seated arbitration by themselves, and need us in London far less than they may have needed us 20 or 30 years ago. And if you have such a more fragmented community, is it still really a community at all? Is the bubble not bursting? And will you not have to find methods of operating that go beyond the word of mouth, that go beyond the personal knowledge? And I think something that everybody here has picked up is arbitrary intelligence, Catherine Nodler's other brainchild, which is yet, I think, officially to be launched, certainly yet to be operational, so that we generate data that allow us to depart from the word of mouth way of arbitrator appointments. But I think it has the capacity for seriously disrupting the way arbitrators are appointed, where I will go and appoint somebody based on that data whom I don't know of, who hasn't got
5 minutes from
5 minutes from now, who hasn't got what the Germans call Stallgeruch, the German language has lots of words that don't really translate, but means something very specific. This one basically means that you smell right. And so currently, and this is, I am groping slightly for lack of preparation for words, but also slightly because what I'm trying to describe is a gut feeling, rather than something that is based on data, not writing. But it strikes me that it is very much the fact that arbitrators we appoint, counsel we appoint, have to smell right, have to have gone to the conferences Mauricio said. And I think arbitrator intelligence has the capacity and is very timely for putting a serious twist on that. And it will be very interesting to see whether it does. Another anecdote, perhaps, to exemplify the fragmentation of the practice, which particularly those, and I think the majority here who are at the start of their careers will have to bear in mind if they want to go into arbitration, certainly into the sort of practice of all arbitration all the time, is that another senior arbitrator in another one of these big beast kind of settings, where I was the sort of junior person with gatekeeper, complained about arbitration becoming more like litigation. It's becoming less international. I now have trouble finding jobs for people in London who are not qualified here. And again, I think that is emblematic of the fact that arbitration, in terms of how it's practiced, is undergoing profound change, very deeply rooted change, the extent of which I think hasn't been properly grasped, certainly by me, but I haven't got a really cursory overview found anything that encapsulates this. And that particularly we in the most old established arbitration jurisdiction, I think have yet to really get to grips with where that trend is going and how we're going to handle it. And seeing as I am nearly out of time, I think I will stop boring you and we'll go into questions. Thank you very much.